Titanic was said to be unsinkable. But just 5 days later, she was gone, swallowed up by the icy waters of the North Atlantic after striking an iceberg. It was one of the worst disasters in maritime history. Around 1,500 people were killed, and yet, bizarrely, it made her the most famous ship in history.
There's a new documentary streaming right now that dispels some of the common beliefs about the sinking of the Titanic. It's called Debunking the Myths of the Titanic. It features the world's leading expert on the disaster, Tim Malton, and he is a historian. Good morning.
Tim, thanks for being with us.
Hi, Larry. Hi, Robin.
Great to see you.
Good to see you. We're confused about one point. I remember from the movie,
which is accurate,
right,
I'm sure,
that the boat went straight down into the water, which was scary as hell. Did it happen that way?
Well, actually, in the film, Titanic tips right up and then sort of crashes back down. In reality, it was slightly less dramatic. She went about 15 degrees up, but still, the back of Titanic actually stayed afloat for quite a long time before she finally sank. And one man stood on the back of the ship and didn't actually get his hair wet.
Wow.
Huh. That wasn't Jack, Leo DiCaprio's character, right? He was made up.
No, it was a baker who was very drunk called Charles Jocelyn.
How much, can I just ask, since people, I mean, a lot of the knowledge for this generation is based on that movie, is how much, I thought they tried to be as accurate as possible. Is it infuriating to you to watch that they got so much wrong, or did they get it pretty much right?
I think your word infuriating is quite good. The film's brilliant. I'm a fan of the film, and obviously the sets are fantastic. So what they did, I think, brilliantly is recreate Titanic, bring her back to life. They also brought her to a huge audience. But the most accurate film about Titanic is people like black and white films. From 1958, there's a film called A Night to Remember. And anyone who's watching now who's really interested in Titanic should have a look at that.
Okay, so a couple of the other myths that you debunk, we heard that the third-class passengers were locked below deck while the others escaped. Not true, you say.
That's absolutely right. They, rather like the pandemic nowadays, they had to have the gates shut to stop the spread of infectious diseases. But as soon as the disaster situation was announced at midnight, the gates were opened into third class, and actually stewards were sent from other classes to help the third class up to the decks. However, they were locked behind the gates for the first 47 minutes because they hadn't yet decided it was a fatal tragedy.
Oh.
Wow. And so I always remember, even before the movie, the lifeboats. There wasn't enough lifeboats. Is that true or false?
Well, it's both true and false. It's true that there weren't enough for everyone, but it's not true that they didn't have enough for the regulations. So the idea was that ships should be properly subdivided and very safe vessels in themselves. And the idea was that lifeboats should actually just be for ferrying passengers from a stricken vessel to a healthy vessel, if you like. What they didn't plan on was the subdivided Titanic actually sinking completely. And for that, she'd have needed twice as many lifeboats for everyone, because normally you can only launch the lifeboats on one side of a ship. But Titanic was lucky. She sank on an even keel, but she didn't have enough lifeboats for everyone.
What about the myth that the captain was somehow at fault?
Well, people say that the captain was drunk or was trying to break a record. In fact, captain never drank while at sea at all. And they were trying to beat the Olympic, which is Titanic's sister ship's maiden voyage time, but they were not cutting the corner and they were not trying to get the blue ribbon.
All right, there was an accusation that the ship was poorly constructed.
Yeah, this is a common one, but actually the makers of the Titanic had a very brilliant relationship with the financiers and owners of the Titanic, and actually they got paid 5% to build her of what they spent building her. So in other words, the more money they lavished on the steel and the hull and everything like that, the more money they got paid. So Titanic was in fact very strongly built. She just was not designed for the kind of explosive forces that the impact with the iceberg created.
All right, and the crew didn't have binoculars, so they could not spot the iceberg in time.
Well, you're absolutely right, but it didn't make a difference because, in fact, the best way to spot ice at night is with the naked eye because you have a wider field of vision. And, in fact, binoculars are for inspecting objects that you've already identified. So it didn't have any effect on the collision.
Have you heard that they're building this full-size replica of the Titanic for an amusement park in China?
Well, I've heard, the last I heard was that there was a full-size Titanic being built to actually, sail across the Atlantic and take passengers as a cruise ship. I heard it was being made by an Australian billionaire, and it was going to be called Titanic 2. And if they're listening, I'm hoping for a free ticket.
Oh, you'd do it.
Yeah, I do it because lightning doesn't strike twice.
It never does. For more, go to historyhit.com and search for Debunking the Myths of the Titanic. Tim, great to talk to you.
Likewise, thank you both.